Hello! 1 year ago, geez, has it already been a year? I suppose it has. I went to 104 Goodwills in search of retro video games mostly, but really just anything cool I could get my hands on. And since that video did so well, since it was such a rousing success, I decided, let's repeat the spot! This time the gimmick is the inverse. No Goodwills allowed. I'm allowed to go to any other thrift store. That's Salvation Armies, Thrifty Shoppers, Habitat for Humanities, anything if I deem it a thrift store, as long as it's not a Goodwill's on the table. So without further ado, let's go.
You excited? I'm excited. We begin our new thrifting adventure at Haven Hospice in Gainesville. This place is enormous. Didn't have anything that interesting though. If you're new to this, most of the time I don't really find anything that interesting. I'm mostly into video games, media, electronics. Here's a graphing calculator. If you need one of these, thrift store is actually not a bad place to find them, because as you might know, new, they are ridiculously expensive. Then we have our first of many Salvation Armies, the nice, respectable media section. No games with the DVDs though. This one had a shelf of like cleaning supplies. And a lot of Salvation Armies have this. It's a little weird. I would never think to come to one of these to get laundry soap. Here's the games section. Now I'm going to be more stringent this time around because I don't plan on re-donating the games like I did in the Goodwill video. Like before, I see a few titles I probably would have snatched up in that, but here, I don't know, nothing's really piquing my interest. Old camcorder. I was actually just looking for one of these recently to film some just retro looking stuff on. I did find one, and if you watch my Shining Force video, that's what I shot the past segments on. Racing wheel. Not really a big racing wheel guy. For a PlayStation 2, it looks like. We're still in Gainesville with this Habitat for Humanity restore. This is a chain, at least here in Florida. I don't know if they're in other parts of the country too, but you're going to be seeing a whole bunch of them in this video. They're alright, they're like any other thrift store. Something you see a lot in non-Goodwill thrift stores is you see a lot more furniture in these places. Unfortunately, I'm not really in the market for furniture. Pretty sad DVD section here. It's just this one little rack. And I am looking. I didn't buy any DVDs last time, but spoilers for later, I get some this time. There we go. Simcopter? That's a video game. I'm not an old PC guy, though. Okay, with this next stop, I'm kind of cheating, and I decided after coming here not to go to another one of these. I'm sure you've seen these before, though. This is one of those really large antique malls that have a whole bunch of different vendors. There's just a whole bunch of booths with old stuff, but it's not really thrifting because they always want market value for all this stuff. It's more antiquing than thrifting. But still, this place is huge. You got some really old Legos, got a Trump mask. A lot of VHS tapes. This Detroit Rock City kind of spoke to me. You might not know this, but I have a sizable Kiss collection. It's not really mine, it was my dad's, I just kind of kept it. Didn't get it. I actually don't own a VHS player, so it would be silly to. There were smatterings of video games here and there, like here are some PS2 ones, but they wanted game store prices for them. Like here's Tony Hawk's Proving Ground. Like I would have got that in an actual thrift store. I don't remember what it said, and I can't make out the price from the footage, but it was probably like low teens. Just a little much. Oh, here's a cool find. A PVM attached to this old camera. They wanted $50 for it, which might sound like a steal, but I'm pretty sure this old thing is in black and white, and the inputs on the back are like nothing I've ever seen before. So if I can't plug anything into it, then I am not really interested. A lot of old cameras. If you are an old vintage camera collector, this was the motherlode. Well, here's some video games. Super Nintendo Junior, $100? Price is firm. Yeah, no thanks, dude. There's a PS1 to the side that I didn't pick up. PS2 in the box. Yu-Gi-Oh cards, of all things. Wouldn't expect to see that in a place like this. Here's a cool find. They just wanted top dollar, so there was no chance I was gonna buy it. They have an Intellivision Model 2 with the keyboard, and it looks like a voice module to the side. Like, I would absolutely be interested in that, but I already have the system, so I would just need the keyboard. It's also an old Atari 800 computer that they want $450 for. I'm not an expert on how those things are priced, but that seems like more than what it is worth. Next we have Restoring Hope in Wildwood. This place is cool, I've been here a whole bunch of times. Freddy Got Fingered, hell yeah. Family Guy, Volume 5. Do I care enough about Family Guy to pick these up? Right now, the answer is no, but maybe I buy some Family Guy later? Got Zumba for the 360, hell yes. Mini condenser microphone. Think this would make the audio in my videos better? This place is cool because it's got a whole shed out back with a whole bunch of random junk. In this case, we have 2 pre-built computers, which is surprisingly rare for a thrift store. You don't see a lot of computers, not as much as you would expect, or at least I would expect anyway. Gotta love bins of random wires. Like, hey, do you happen to need 1 composite video cable? A soundbar? Maybe I'll buy another soundbar. I bought one in the Goodwill video, but I couldn't use it because I'm stupid. It just accepted the wrong kind of input. It was optical only, and that's just not something my setup can handle. Keyboard for blind people? Probably should have got that. Here's a nice Sony Vizio monitor. It's got all the inputs you would ever need for testing anything. Perfect for a used game store. Next is Bargains and Treasures in Oxford. This place ended up being 99% furniture, so I didn't get anything. We're on store 6, I still haven't bought anything. Did find this cool remote-controlled boat, though. What the? Florida frozen over? Nah, this is the Thrifty Shopper in Cortland, New York. That's right, I left Florida this time. Thrifty Shopper is a local chain to upstate New York. I go to a whole bunch of them in this next group of stores. This used to be my local thrift store. I would come here all the time, and I have not been home in 9 years. One of my missions while I'm up here is to find some Syracuse swag, but I'll be doing most of that off camera. This is a cool shirt. It was just a little small. Got an Apple TV. If you remember, I bought one of those in the Goodwill video. Passing this one up, however. Here we go, a computer. Acer Windows 8, so it's a little old. The thing with modern computers is you really don't need a very good one anymore. You just put Ubuntu or Linux Mint or something on this and it can do pretty much anything. As long as you're not playing games. Speaking of, they actually had some at this place. Titanfall 2. I got a lot of comments in the Goodwill video asking me why I didn't buy Titanfall 2 or saying I fucked up because I didn't get Titanfall 2. Well, guess what? I bought Titanfall 2 the day it came out, so there was no reason for me to buy it at a thrift store. Yes, it's a good game. Didn't see any video games I wanted, however. I did find 2 different seasons of South Park, which hell yes, I'm getting these. Oh wait, there's another one, season 13 and season 6. They don't match the other box sets, but hey, I'm not gonna say no to these. So here we go, 7th store. I had to go all the way to New York. I went over 1,000 miles, but I finally bought something. 4 seasons of South Park for $11.88. Here is the Dollar Bazaar, and my camera glasses ran out of battery, so the footage looks really bad because I just did it with my phone vertically. Cool TV, RF only though, is definitely a bummer. That makes it pretty worthless. They had an old iMac with a big not for sale sticker on it. Apparently they still use this thing. It's not even in widescreen. I wonder what they could possibly use that for. Here's an Xbox 360 controller, because I'm a dink. It's mostly off screen, but I think it was a bootleg or else I would have bought it. Old camera. They got VHSs. Cool if you're into that. Lots of DVDs, but nothing good. Then we have a very picturesque Salvation Army in an old brick building. This is not something you get in Florida. In Gloversville, New York? I like the exterior, but I really didn't find much of anything interesting inside. Except for this vending machine, which was out of commission. Wonder if this was for sale. Here's a video game. NBA Live? No? Next is Ark Herkimer Goods Store in where else? Herkimer, New York. This one was weird because instead of having one DVD section, they just spread it out all across the store in various different racks. And I'll dispel another comment here. Just because I don't show the glass case doesn't mean that I didn't look at it. Most of the time, the only thing in the glass case is jewelry, so I don't show it because I have no interest in jewelry. In this case, however, there were some games in a bin that were at an awkward angle that I couldn't see. I think I made out a couple of these and decided to pass on them. Here's another Salvation Army, this one in Island, New York, I think it's called. Salvation Armies have not been good to me so far. Really just the first one I went to at any kind of video games whatsoever worth getting. Maybe I should have gotten 1 or 2 of those, because it has been dead. Another crappy Salvation Army. Very paltry DVD section. No video games to speak of. Well, actually, I might have spoke too soon. We have some kind of graphics card. Bizarre thing to see at one of these. This didn't look modern, and I really don't have a lot of interest in old graphics cards, so I left it be. Here is another Thrifty Shopper, this one in Rome, New York. And I found something I wish I bought, actually. This was before I made my Madden video, and I found this weird EA Sports plug-and-play. If I would have bought this, I would have showcased it in the video, but I left it there. In the DVD section, somebody donated their entire Harry Potter collection, which is a little sad. I have no interest in Harry Potter, though. And we actually have some video games, but they're all sports games by the look of it. Do you see anything here I should have bought? No? Well, me either. Then I went to another Salvation Army, this one also in Rome, New York. Here's a shopping cart full of a bunch of VHS tapes. Riveting. This place was enormous compared to the amount of stuff they had. Like, look at these wide open spaces. We got some games, though. Some Scrabble word thing for the Wii. Got some Guitar Heroes, some Madden, some FIFA, some NBA for the Xbone. There we go, Gears of War Judgment. I'd buy this, and it's empty. Shucks. Blackwater. You know, I remember Movie Bob was really upset about this game, but I don't remember why or what it was. But yeah, another store down, another one I don't buy anything. Next we have the Thrifty Shopper in Clay. This one and I actually have a long history, believe it or not, because in the state of New York, in order to graduate from high school, you need a certain number of volunteer hours. And apparently volunteering at a thrift store counts. They said I was the best volunteer they ever had because I worked my ass off, because in my deluded brain, I thought if I did that, they would offer me a job. They didn't, and to be fair, I didn't even ask, so it was a stupid plan anyway. But the electronics section was never more organized than the week that I was there. And hell, I even found something to buy. In the Goodwill video, I passed on a whole bunch of DVD box sets of Seinfeld, and this time around, I decided, you know, I wouldn't mind owning that show, so I picked up Season 1 and 2. They also had some video games, a fake Super Nintendo controller. Nothing good, though. XCOM on the Xbone. It's in there. I didn't get it, though. Then we have a Salvation Army in Liverpool. Been to this place a whole bunch of times too. They had all their DVD box sets in a shopping cart. The Simpsons Season 1, ka-ching! Awesome find, but it is the only season of The Simpsons I already own. If it were any other season, I would have bought it, but I already have Season 1. Some other shows I don't care about. I don't know what OC is. I've never seen 24. Not buying the freaking Big Bang Theory. A lot of Cuse shirts. Assume I'm buying Cuse shirts at all these. Maybe not all these, but I got a whole bunch. I'm not counting it in the total, though, because it's kind of unrelated to anything. Madden 11 on the Wii. Interesting Madden. Pajama Party. Yes! Finally! God dang it. It's not in there. The best thing I ever found at this place was one visit I found both a TurboGrafx 16 and a stack of Sega Dreamcast games. But because I was only 16 or 17 years old, I didn't really have money. I only had exactly $20, which wasn't enough to buy both. So I left the TurboGrafx 16 and I bought the Sega Dreamcast games. I don't remember what the games were. I remember Shenmue was one of them. So that's a good find. Did I make the right choice? Who the hell knows? This Thrifty Shopper is also in Liverpool. It must be new because I don't remember it from when I lived up there. It was also pretty sparse as far as these things go. The floor space was a lot bigger than the actual amount of product they had. Like, here's this section. Normally there's aisles of these racks with doodads on them, but not here. Cheap projector, pass. Got some cheap power tools? Maybe if you have a need for some cheap power tools. Elliptical? You know, if I had the space, maybe. They had video games. Nice! Rapala Pro Bass Fishing. You know, I actually had a lot of fun with the bass fishing game I bought at Goodwill, but I left this here. Then another Thrifty Shopper. This one was in Baldwinsville. Got a record collection, VHSs. Neat to see. Here are the video games. Whole bunch of crap. Next was a cool one. This is at 315. There's a play on Syracuse's area code of 315. This is in Camilis. There's another one on Syracuse University campus that I go to later. I found quite a few shirts here. Here's a cool Cortland Dragons windbreaker that I probably would have bought if it were in my size. It just had a whole bunch of like random local stuff. That's cool. That's like why I'm here. Here's a video game that I actually bought. Hot Wheels for the 360 because it was $1.99, which is very reasonably priced. Normally they want $4 or $5 per game. There we go. Here's the Family Guy Motherlode. Somebody traded in their whole collection. They only wanted $2 for each season, so I had to get them. I left the ones without the slipcover though, because I think I might be able to find that season later. So I made out pretty well at this one. I got a bunch of shirts, Family Guy DVDs, cool Hot Wheels game, living large. 315 gets a big thumbs up. This used to be an awesome hill to sled down. Those assholes put a temporary orange fence down the middle of the thing. Anyway, here's another thrifty shopper. Nothing I wanted in the DVD section. Ooh, Madden 2002 for the PC. Hell yeah. When I went up north, I wasn't in my Madden kick yet, but if I were to find this now, I would get it. The hell is this? Gamer? It's a movie just called Gamer? Seinfeld? Sadly, it's seasons 1 and 2 again. I already picked that up. Some random PC games. Life, SimCity 2000? Oh, this one kind of spoke to me. It's in there. Let's get it. You know what spoke to me even more? This Key clip art CD. 25,000 clip art images? Dude, that's crazy. Oh, dude, it's in there? Yes. Okay, so from here on out, I'm going to be using clip art from this in the rest of the video. I paid for these with one $2 bill. Then I went to the 315 I mentioned earlier on SU's campus, where I bought an ass load of shirts. But I also got a couple games because they had some. Like Over the Hedge? Why not? Why not? Sadly, after that, I left the Cuse area, and this is 2A Thrift in Camden, New Jersey. This place was enormous. Dang, you could buy all of Everybody Loves Raymond. Not for me, though. The video game section is kind of pathetic. You know, I haven't been seeing a lot of Wii balance boards this time. It's not that I've been leaving them out, it's that I haven't been seeing them. They want $20 for this one, which is highway robbery. Behind the counter, they had some laptops and other more expensive things. There's a Kinect down there. And I don't know what I was thinking, but I got suckered into buying this Apple Magic Mouse for $35, which is especially bad because coming up I find one for way cheaper and that I have to pass on because I already bought this one. And I try this thing out and it is one of the worst mice I've ever used in my life. I would rather have a dollar store Logitech piece of shit USB mouse than this thing. I use an MX Master and I was thinking, hey, you know, Apple's proprietary mouse. I've been on the Mac train this past year. I got a Mac Mini, I got a Mac laptop now. I'll see what the Apple mouse is all about. And it's horrible. I don't see any reason to ever use this thing. Then we have Thrift and Animal, which was somewhere in South Carolina. I didn't spend that much time in this place because I was being followed the whole time. I'm not going around stealing things, but I think the woman working here might have thought I was. I mean, she was right to be suspicious because I was filming, but damn. She was like right behind me the whole time. This place was really messy, which I actually really like. It's a good sign when the thrift store is messy. But I didn't see anything that cool, and I only spent a couple minutes in here. Then we have this Axe 3 thrift store in Savannah, Georgia. They had a lot of Disney VHS tapes at this place, so if that's your bag, they had them. For only 59 cents. That's a steal. At that point, they should just give them away. Oh, remember these headphones? These were like the default computer lab headphones when I was a kid. They had a little glass case with some electronics in it. There's a video game. Is that for the VTech? Oh wait, there actually is a video game. It's one of those GameStop Xbox 360 controllers. I think everybody had one of these back then. Mine would always disconnect. The wire got messed up. Then we have yet another Salvation Army. This one was actually pretty good to me. This is one of the better ones I went to. And not just because I found something. There was good stock all around, I'd say. And I like the ones that are more eclectic, that are in these older buildings, just kind of retrofit into being a thrift store. I enjoy that aesthetic more than the big corporate, high ceilings, that whole thing. Here we have Trailer Park Boys, Season 1 and 2, which I got. I was a late convert to this show. I didn't watch it for the first time until a couple years ago, but it's pretty good, at least until you get to the Netflix years. I also found some seasons of South Park, 2 season 3s and a season 4. Too bad I already have season 3. I don't have 4, however, so I got that too. Here's a VHS DVD combo player I contemplated getting, but decided not to. Really cool that it comes with its own composite cables. That is a nicety most thrift stores would not give you. Here is another Salvation Army, also in Savannah, Georgia. Here is a VHS rewinder, still in the box. Somebody'd be happy to buy that. Just like somebody would be happy to buy this awesome CRT behind this box of DVDs that I don't care about. This place had some balance boards. I can't make out the price though. I think it says $4.99. That's not bad. Back to this TV though. It is a CRT DVD combo, not VHS, so it's later. was trying to look at the inputs here, but I couldn't really get a good look. I was seeing maybe if it had S-video or component or something. And I thought about it, I kicked the tires on this thing. It would look pretty good in a video, but I really just don't have the space for another CRT. Alright, last store of my road trip. This place was also in Savannah, Georgia, and I'm not sure if it counted as a thrift store. It came up when I searched. This is the Friendly Marketplace, and it is unlike any other store I've ever been to. First thing that set alarm bells off in my head is on the door, they're advertising a hot dog Coke combo for $5, which, what kind of thrift store sells hot dogs? That's weird. And it's a mix between a thrift store, a dollar store, and a garbage store? I don't even know. Here's some Wii games, $10 each. Wait a second, does this steering wheel say $4,000? That can't be right. That just has to be missing a decimal point. Yeah, it was one of those stores that just had random bins of junk you could sort through, but there were a whole bunch of different sections. Is this a thrift store? Honestly, I would probably say no, but the sign in the back says Friendly Mission Thrift Store. And there's some thrift-like things, such as this keyboard, or these remotes. But then you have stacks of refrigerators and washing machines and stuff you would just never see. This looks like new unsold stock to me. This doesn't look like thrifting. They had a whole media room, but there really wasn't anything that interesting in here, at least not to me. Cool store though. If you're ever in Savannah, Georgia, I would check this place out. The Pac-Man machine you see there was not for sale. It was just there to play. They just had a really weird mix of stuff. And then there was also a food bar, which I didn't get any footage of because I'm stupid. The Rock says, go to the thrift store with Zach from Level Redesign. Thanks for coming along, Zach. This place is off 192, the really touristy stretch of Kissimmee before you get to Disney. I used to come here sometimes when I lived in Kissimmee, and it is probably the most dense thrift store I've ever been in. Most of the electronics are confined to this glass case up front. Of course, it was all overpriced and not worth buying. Had a chance at a VTech. Wonder why I didn't buy that. Just look at how crowded these aisles are. There's so much random stuff, I can't even begin to describe it all. Here's a random old power supply. Random oil filters. Imagine buying your oil filters at a thrift store. Doorbells, like who would use any of this? Ancient cell phones. Oh, I bought one of these for $30 at like 2 thrift stores ago. I bought that same exact mouse for $30. Yeah, they only wanted $5 for it here. This piece of shit mouse isn't worth 5 cents, let alone $5. Definitely not the $35 I paid. This TV was pretty cool. It had every input you would ever want on the back of the thing. Gotta love the early era of flat screens where they were still throwing on legacy inputs, as opposed to now where you're lucky to get 3 HDMI ports. What is this? You're a church person. Defend this. Jesus, the VHS.
He's nailing a cross, okay?
Somebody donated some Redbox DVDs. Seeing how they just went out of business, I don't suppose they're gonna miss them. Oh, are these floppies? They are. These are like hard floppies, like 3.5, like... Oh wait, no, what is this? I actually don't know what this is.
It looks like a fan.
It's
a computer fan.
It's some kind of old data storage.
A 1/2-inch cartridge tape. So is it like a tape inside here that, like a VHS one-sided, and it keeps data on it? I've never heard of this.
This is some kind of like heavy-duty corporate storage, I think, from like the 80s. Comment down below if you know what this is, because I still don't. We found a really funny old Monopoly.com, which had a whole bunch of websites that haven't been relevant in 20 plus years. What is Excite Home? Excite at Home? Monster.com?
No Monster.
They're still around, right?
Yeah, I think so.
iVillage, the women's network? I gotta see the whole board. Like, what is the... Apparently Fox Sports isn't that valuable.
To be fair, Yahoo was...
Yahoo's the boardwalk? Is Google even on this?
No, it's probably before Google. So Yahoo was the biggest website at one time.
I mean, I used to go there.
So, and then Google kind of took it over. So
Linux gets its own square? Oh, they're like a utility. What's the other one? Sun Microsystems? Is that the other utility? That's so stupid.
What are the trains?
Okay, what are the trains?
Nokia. Phone providers.
Oh, okay, yeah. There was just so much random junk I can't even cover. Power tools, tires. Who would go to a thrift store to buy a tire? Grills, double washing machine and dryer. Of course, the obligatory DVD section didn't really have anything worth mentioning. There was kind of a robust PC section though. We found a cooler with fan, random keyboards, a ThinkPad. Shout out to Jonas. It didn't have any RAM or anything attached to the bottom, so it wasn't functional out of the box. You'd have to invest to get some use out of it, or else I would probably think about buying it. I thought this doorway was pretty funny, how it was just sloppily cut out with a Sawzall or something. Same with this pipe access that isn't connected to anything, so it's pointless. We theorized this room used to be a bathroom, and that's why this is there, but now it has shoes. Believe it or not, shoes are actually pretty lucrative for thrift stores. Most of the time, they have them in a glass case or behind the counter, because I guess they get stolen a lot. Not something I come to thrift stores for, but hey, if that's your bag. A deluxe video transfer system, which is so old, it's not even an analog to digital thing. It's just an analog to analog thing. A few desktop towers. You could probably get a pretty decent computer out of these. They had so many DVD players. Think of anything you see in a normal thrift store. This place had 10 times more of everything. I almost want this, but like at the same time, do I really want this? The 5-disc DVD changer.
What 5 disc would you keep that in?
I would put like a season of Dragon Ball Z in it, and I'd put all 5 discs in. That's how many discs are in one. And I did buy that 5-disc DVD player. It was $10. Then I demolished Zach at a game of air hockey 7-0. He probably still cries himself to sleep about that. And then I did put 5 discs of Dragon Ball Z into my 5-disc DVD player. And guess what? It's pretty cool. Here is a Hope Thrift in the Lakeland area, which was bizarre because the power was out, yet they still allowed me to look around anyway. Props to them, and it was certainly a unique browsing experience, using my phone as a flashlight. It certainly didn't make for great footage, though. Like, here are some games: Tiger Woods, Wii Fit, Just Dance, some other ones over here I can't tell what they are, The Sims. I don't buy anything at this place. Haven't you ever dreamed about being at a thrift store after hours after they closed? No? Just me? This is exactly what it'd be like. This is yet another Habitat for Humanity restore, and it's the most bizarre one I went in, because it was only barely a thrift store. They had a small media section with a NASCAR kart racing game that I probably should have bought. Teen Titans DVD. If this were like the whole series, I would have gotten it. But most of the store was like a knockoff Home Depot or Ace Hardware. Really strange. Lots of rugs, paint rollers, a tub. Not very thrift-like. Ah! An eye-bleeding yellow Hope Thrift. I walk in and out of the corner of my eye. You see it? There it is. A Pac-Man machine. What? Ugh. And it makes me sick to my stomach that I just don't have the space. There's a part of my brain that's saying that when you come across something like this, you make space. It doesn't even matter if the thing works. It's worth investing in to make it work. When you find an old original Pac-Man cabinet for $175, you buy the Pac-Man cabinet. There's also a golden tee next to it, but who cares about that? It physically pained me, but I don't have the space. I don't have the space. It's so sad that I'm at a point in my life where I cannot find room for this thing. But I really can't. Even my storage unit is overflowing with trash that I don't need. Anyway, here's some balance boards. $4. Yeah, I mean, that's a good deal, I guess. I found this Indiana Jones DVD box set, which I got. What a pittance. The rest doesn't even matter. Like, I found a laptop, didn't get it, don't care. Never gonna see another Pac-Man machine. Then we have a Salvation Army, still in the Lakeland area. Much like most Salvation Armies I go to, there wasn't much here. I thought about getting this Lord of the Rings 2 Towers set, but it looks like somebody was biting it, so no thanks. Great source for water jugs. Why spend $30 when you could just go to a thrift store? This next place is just called Thrift Store? No, it's Life's Treasures Thrift Store. There was a few interesting things here, such as this camera bag or this breaker box. Here's something, an Atari Flashback console. Flashback 6, actually, for 30 bucks. That is comically overpriced for one of these. What's this, a PlayStation 5? No, some kind of air purifier. They had a whole bunch of Coca-Cola in the glass bottle. 2002 World Champions. Is this Coke actually from 2002? Can they sell this? Now we have red, white, and blue Thrift in the Tampa area. This place was ginormous, but I really didn't find that much interesting. Couple keyboards, but there's keyboards at all these. The CD section didn't have anything that spoke to me. The DVD section had something that half spoke to me. This Chicago Bears NFC Championship DVD. They had a few of them. It looked like they were all part of a set. And if they had the whole thing, I would have definitely bought it. But just a couple random DVDs, no thanks. Another one of many Salvation Armies I visit, this one in the North Tampa area. Didn't find anything of note at this one though. Here's a fancier Salvation Army in Wesley Chapel, where I did find something. The Simpsons, Season 9. Alright, oh, what's this? Simpsons Season 3. Hell yeah. Easy pickups. And why not? Let's go to 3 Salvation Armies in a row. This one was as close to a corporate Salvation Army as they get. Found a nice Godfather DVD set that I passed on. A Beavis and Butthead DVD, but not like a set, just one with a couple episodes, so I didn't get it. Anything in the fancy case? Nope. Not much at this one. So the next 11 stores, I'm going to be accompanied by Sean, aka the Chaotic Meatball.
Womp womp.
Final words.
Jason Graves, viewer.
Starting off with Thrift Store. And then right next to it, Thrift Store number 2 in Crystal River. This is one of those places that's more a dollar store than it is a true thrift store. My least favorite kind, but they did have Vagisil, so that's fun. The owner was very friendly. He was chatting with us basically the whole time. Not much in the way of games, though. We got an NBA 2K11. This Barbie PC game was kind of tempting. Didn't get it, though.
You get like a thermostat?
That is my exact thermostat at home.
Really? Yep. So if you ever needed a replacement, it's right there.
One of the more chaotic, but junk sections I've seen. Dustpans, random faucets. Wow! Books. Huge mess of wires. This is sad. People donating their trophies, or perhaps the trophies of deceased relatives. You don't want your Northwood Golf Club Masters Champion clock? Come on. Can't let this get away. Checking out Thrift Store 2, however, it is closed. You can see some stuff in there, though. Call Karen if you have any questions. Then we have Nature's Coast Ministries. You see one of these scales, you have to weigh yourself. Them's the rules.
What are we, 227?
228, 227.
One of the most robust golf sections I've ever seen, with random veteran stuff. A globe puzzle. Pretty cool. We hit the mother load, however, in the media section. Zumba for the Wii, but wait, it's got 4 games inside. Biggest Loser, My Fitness Coach, the Zumba game, and Wii Fit. Wow. I can't believe I didn't buy that.
I had this Trivial Pursuit when I was a kid.
We had this one.
Yeah? Oh, you had like the old...
Yeah.
On the way out, we spotted Grand Theft Auto San Andreas in the case. Great find, but of course I already have Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Multiple versions, actually. Here is Jericho Road in Spring Hill. Not much in the DVD section. We found Wii Fit Plus, however.
Wow.
Pretty nice old camcorder. As stated earlier, I did just buy one, however, and I'm quite happy with that. This RF modulator I almost bought, but I had it confused. I thought it was input RF, output S-video and composite, but it actually works the other way around. I'm glad I realized it while I was in line. You're supposed to plug in your composite or S-video, and then it converts it to RF for TVs that don't have composite inputs. Ironically, meaning this thing could actually be used to hook composite stuff up to modern HD TVs. But it's not something I have any use for. However, I did find a universal AC adapter that had all of the plugs in there, which I did pick up because you can never have too many of those, and they cost about $30 new. White's 50 off. Okay. Another Salvation Army, this one also in Spring Hill. Lord of the Rings? Tempting, but no.
Back when they used to put only 4 episodes of the Power Rangers season on DVD, Volume 3.
What a ripoff.
That was Power Rangers before they...
I was gonna ask if you'd want that, but no, not with 4 episodes.
Next up, Sheriff Ranchers Thrift, which is a small chain hereabouts in Florida. They had a nice cloth checkers set and a balance board with a really shitty Wii remote taped to it.
Look, it's got like a proper start and select.
Oh, wow.
It's almost like it's designed to be sideways. This probably doesn't even go to a Wii. This is probably like to a knockoff console.
Right?
If I had to guess.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. $10 though.
10? 10 is okay.
That is the baseline.
Yeah.
I have no idea why I thought this looked cool, but it did. It's this weird house building software where you make the floor plan and then build the house, I guess? I don't know, I'll have to try this out. And also Battlefield 2, that I got peer pressured into buying because I definitely wouldn't have otherwise. I had to even it out. I'm getting a weird realty thing, and you know, you gotta get an actual Macho Man game to prove that you're still a gamer. Really shitty basketball, but a really cool CRT TV. It looks smaller in the footage than it did in person. VHS DVD combo only has one composite input in the front, and the price was incredible at only $20. Somebody else, who is not me, will be thrilled to buy this. However, much like the Pac-Man machine earlier, I just don't have the space. Then we have Gulfside Hospice. Nothing in the DVD section, but they actually had games. A few anyway. And I decided to pick up Fight Night 4 and Medal of Honor for the 360. Here is a Salvation Army in Newport Richie, where I found Madden 09. Very nice. That's not Madden 09. NCAA Football 09 is pretty nice too, but I already have that. Space Invaders, the board game, huh? Found some 3D glasses. Ooh, remember these? Monday Madness. This happened to be filmed on a Monday, so let's see what it's all about. They had a very paltry game section. Lego Pikachu? Oh wait, Mega Block Pikachu. Here's a weird thing we found. Anti-Monopoly. Bust the Trust. Legitimately old. This thing was from the 70s.
It's missing pins, it looks like.
No, they're not even supposed to be there.
Oh, you're right.
What's that for?
This is a PC. This is a game port. You've never used one of these?
No.
I used to have controllers that use these.
No.
The name of the port is the game port. It was this, yeah.
Interesting.
This is Life's Treasures Thrift Store, another smaller chain that I've been to before. They had a 2 terabyte hard drive in the front of this place in a glass case, but they wanted $60 for it, so no thank you. Somebody donated their entire Star Trek VHS collection. Who would be so cruel? I've never watched Curb Your Enthusiasm, but I've always wanted to, so I got this DVD. Found a couple games hidden amongst these DVDs. I really like how they're displayed in this store. Front facing. Got this Dead to Rights. Then on the way out in the case, we saw an Xbox 360. Asked to take a look at it, and it's one of the original run models that does not have an HDMI port. They were asking $120, but everything gaming related was half off, so it was only $60, and we did buy this. Probably shouldn't have because it was an overpay, and you're inherently taking a huge risk buying an original Model 360. But we did test it out, and it does work. Then we have another Salvation Army. They had this cool piano organ thing going on that plays itself. That guy's not actually playing it. Batman on DVD, kinda cool. Did not get it, however. Salvation Armies have not been good to me by and large. This is another one I did not get anything. Then we have Last Chance Thrift Store in Palm Harbor. They had all their games behind the counter, and it was really tough to see them, but we did lean across the counter, squint, and make out the names. And I do end up picking up a couple of them, but not after looking at the rest of the store first. This shelving unit was actually pretty tempting. It was nice and tall. It was probably about 6 feet tall, which is cool because it means you can fit more crap on it. PGA Tour 96 for Windows? Yes! Didn't get it though. Found some more games hidden out here.
Do I have Tiger Woods 09?
I played a lot of Tiger Woods PGA Tour 08.
Consult my list of EA Sports games that I have.
You have Madden 10 for the PS3?
Yes. Of course I do.
A whole lot of glass cups, which most thrift stores have, and I normally don't look. But for whatever reason, this huge Applebee's one really grabbed my imagination. And I got it. It was only $2. Oh yeah, and that 360 had a surprise Connect Adventures inside. Yay! Free game, yeah! And thus concludes the Meatball arc. Thanks for tagging along, man. But we still got a long way to go, so here's a Habitat for Humanity restore in Benell. Mostly furniture focused, but I found some DVDs hidden within. One of these times I'm actually gonna buy Lord of the Rings. I appreciate thrift stores having random cable sections, but I don't think I've ever once bought anything in any of them. A relative rarity for Florida buildings, this one has a second story. You can tell these used to be like offices or something, they just converted into store space because it's really sloppily put together. There's just things standing in the hallway. Then we have the Flagler Humane Society. Right away, we got a glass case full of stuff. Well, full might be a bit of an overstatement. An old rotary phone. Actually, not really. It doesn't spin. Faux rotary phone. What the hell is this wacky thing? It's some kind of VCR timer. I have never seen a remote like this in my life. In the media section, what's this up top? We got South Park DVDs. Yay! Season 6 and 9. Nice. I don't have either one of these. The one I left is 4, which I bought earlier. Then another Habitat for Humanity restore in nearby Palm Coast. Restores are more focused on the big stuff I've found, or just random clutter all over the place like this place had. But it did have a little media section. What's this? Seinfeld! Yes, season 3! They also had 1 and 2 like everywhere else, but I can finally add a new season. Next, I went to LCM, or Lake County Missions, in Eustace, where I found an Audio-Technica wireless receiver. Receiving what? Who the hell knows? Of course, a balance board. $8 is okay. You can find better, but you can find much worse, too. What's this? Fox Sports Jam Fest electronic basketball? This thing looks awesome. How did I not buy it? Composite and S-video switcher. I actually have this exact same one. An electric guitar. Cool if you're into that, I guess. I can't imagine it was very good. VHS tapes were only $0.25. Too bad there's nothing here I have any interest in whatsoever. Totally legs? That's not interesting? This is the Spring in the Tampa area, and it was weird because I had a hard time actually finding the store. The building it's in has multiple entrances, and the one that leads to the store I didn't think was labeled very well. But eventually I found my way in. Here's the DVD section. Nothing caught my eye. Just a bunch of stuff you see everywhere. Yet another Salvation Army, again in the Tampa area. What's this? Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull. Would go well next to the box set I bought earlier. If you ever wanted to buy one of the Matrix movies, they got you covered here. You could get the entirety of The Sopranos here. Even though I've never seen the show, it was actually tempting, but then I looked up how much these things actually go for. You can buy the entire series for about $47, it looks like, new, and they wanted $8 a piece for these box sets, so it's really not that good of a deal if you buy all of them, so I let them be. Here's something weird they had, a Moss Sheen Groove Production Studio. I sure hope that's not the Salvation Army's price tag. $100. There's no way this thing is worth that. Next stop was a Sunshine Thrift Store. Chappelle's Show. Believe it or not, I already have that. Punching bag. $250. Just spending that much money on anything at a thrift store just is asinine to me. Even if it's probably technically worth it. Anyone like jazz? Here's something you don't see every day. A snow machine. Wow. When do you see these? I thought about buying it, but then I looked up how much they go for online, and you could have a snow machine for about $50. Shocking, right? I would have guessed they cost much more. I don't remember how much they were charging for this one, but I deemed it not a good enough deal to scoop up. Also, what would I do with a snow machine? Balance board, $595? No, I think that just means $5.95. I found Seinfeld seasons 1 and 2 again. in a slightly different box than what we've been seeing. Curb Your Enthusiasm, unfortunately it's the same season I already bought. Then, when I had almost given up on the way out, I spotted some games by the front register, and ended up picking up a few. Got Grand Theft Auto Vice City, which I actually don't own in the case, I have it loose. Now I have it in the case. Tony Hawk Shred on the Wii, and got this Medal of Honor game. Then I didn't record it, but the cashier was putting the moves on your boy. Too bad I'll probably never come back here because it's too far away. Crossing the bridge into St. Petersburg, here is Second Image Thrift Store. They had a stack of 45s, if you're into that. Guild Wars 2. I don't care about that. Look at this mess of an electronics section. Too bad there was nothing cool hiding within. Little but nice globe. Somewhat modern, but not too modern, as Russia is called Russia, but Sudan is still one country. Why not? Let's do another Salvation Army. Still in St. Petersburg. It's one of those huge counter in the center types that I've seen a few of. This one had a giant record mixer, like for a DJ, I guess. I really don't know or have any interest in anything like this. Media section, though, was a complete bust, and I didn't see any games. Then there's Thrift City USA. Hell yeah. Or Real American if you go here. Found a big old binder. BIM 2? Like our friend BIM? Nothing I cared about in the media section. Didn't see any games. Actually, wait. No. Here's a few. We got Dance Central. Zumba. Here is R Thrift Center. The R actually stands for Indian Rocks. If you notice, there's an I on the left. Nice looking Toy Story box set. Tempting, but I left it here. Oh, video game. NHL 16. Yes! Oh, I love Melbra more. Gotta get that 8-track. Obligatory balance board check, $5. The front had a few games. Good ones, too. I got this Dead Rising, but I probably could have picked up a couple more. New to You Thrift Center was one of those stuffed, crowded ones. This place made me feel like a rat in a maze. But eventually I found the DVDs. Seinfeld Season 3 really beat up. Good thing I found a better one earlier. Look at this unorganized slop. Star Wars? Of course I already have that. Spartacus VHS? That's kind of cool. Here is Thrift and Things, which really shouldn't count because it's more of a reseller store than a thrift store. But whatever, it's got thrift in the name, I'm gonna include it. Had a whole bunch of sports jerseys and memorabilia right when you walk in, which I thumbed through the entire rack. This Carmelo Anthony jersey was really tempting. You know I love Carmelo Anthony, but I didn't get it. Had a whole bunch of games that they no doubt found from local thrift stores. But unfortunately, of course, it's all priced as if it would be at a game store, meaning I'm not liable to pick anything up. What caught my eye, though, were some of these strategy guides. Here's one for the Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game. Cute. I bought this Mario 3 Game Boy Advance one. It was $18, which is more than I would like to pay, but you know, this was a cool store and I wanted to support it. If you're around Seminole, Florida, check this place out. It's pretty cool. Then right down the road, we have Amazing Discovery Thrift Store, which also probably shouldn't count because it was the same type of deal. This was more of a reseller store than it was a true thrift store. Had a nice selection of guitars, just overstuffed with crud. Cool to see. Place had a game section too. It wasn't quite as large as the other one. These knockoff PS4 controllers actually didn't feel too bad, but I decided I didn't need them. Here's another Xbox 360. I can't make out the price and I don't remember what they were charging, but I guarantee it was less money than what I bought the one earlier for. Then I noticed one of those Xbox fridges, which looks like the Series X. Ever since these were announced, I kinda wanted one, but I never really had a practical use for it, so I never bought it. Here they only wanted $30. I looked it up and knew they cost about $100, so I now own the stupid Xbox fridge. He also had an XFL ball behind the counter, which I also bought for $10. So this is a pretty good trip. Cool store. Check it out if you're in the area. Then I did something stupid. I went back to Jacksonville. This place was horrible to me. Just absolutely awful to me during the Goodwill trip. I But you know, other thrift stores, let's see if I have better luck. Starting with Teen Challenge Super Thrift. I like this rotating DVD rack they have. Unfortunately, there was nothing I wanted. This was kind of cool. Think of how many PlayStation 1 games you could fit in this thing. Oh, it's one of those flashlight TV combos I found a few times during the Goodwill video. They're really cool, and the only knock is there's no video input, so I can't get any use out of it. This place actually had 2 of them, but again, same problem, no video input. Next up, City Thrift. Oh, more Seinfeld? Nope, it's just 2 different boxes for Season 3. This place put all their cables in baggies and tried to sell them that way. Still didn't see any bundles I wanted. Then we have another City Thrift, which also did the same thing with the baggies, but this time found an Xbox 360 controller. And it's legit too. Only $6? We almost have a winner, but it's missing the back. And without the back, you can't use it. You can't even put batteries in the thing without that, so it's pretty worthless. Video games! Yo! EA Active 2? Hell yeah. Wait, why'd I put it back? Oh, hoverboards? Anyone? Ooh, more Seinfeld. Damn it, seasons 1 and 2 again. Is that all these places ever have? I could have 20 copies of Seinfeld seasons 1 and 2 before I find 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9. Next in the Jacksonville trip, Red Hands Family Foundation, featuring the hand from Arrested Development. Here's an honest-to-goodness video game. The iQuest, a quantum leapfrog device. See, you put the cartridge in up top. iQuest Social Studies Grade 5 cartridge, eh? Sounds like a barrel of fun. That's my personal goatee from 2006. More Seinfeld, Season 3, of course. Then I found Windows XP, Surface Pack 1. I bought this. I don't know why, but I did. In fact, I shouldn't even say that I bought this because they let me have it for free. No joke. In the electronics section, I finally picked up one of these power surge devices. So I brought them both to the front counter and they just let me pay the $5 for the power thing and didn't even charge me for Windows. So there we go, I got something in Jacksonville. Then we have Hope's Closet Thrift. This was a mighty impressive store with really high ceilings. It was organized really well. I didn't really see anything that spoke to me. Except for maybe this component video switcher, which was neat, I just really don't have any use for it. Yet another Salvation Army. The comeback starts soon. What, for Big Lots? Thought they went out of business. Hell yeah, Beethoven's Greatest Hits. Finally! Much like pretty much every Salvation Army, it was a complete bust. They didn't have shit. Next store. Gosh dang it, another Salvation Army. This was like the mother of all Salvation Armies. It had a nice little courtyard area out front, and it had easily the largest TV I have ever seen in a thrift store. A 90-inch sharp TV that they wanted $1,000 for. I mean, maybe that's a good deal. This thing was enormous. DVD section didn't have anything I care about, but in the glass case, we got a Wii. Ooh-wee. $30 isn't a bad deal either. It's just that I bought a Wii in the Goodwill video and I didn't give it back, so I really don't have use for another one. I'm still in Jacksonville with the thrift store. No fancy name needed. This place was kinda in the hood. Not that that's bad. Find some good stuff in the hood. Here's a much fancier 5-disc DVD changer than the one I bought. The electronics section was fairly robust and they had a whole bunch of cameras. Here's some guy checking one out now. Just gonna have to wait my turn. Meanwhile, what's this? An Xbox One? In horrible shape. The entire side is missing. But they only wanted $25 for it. Now, it doesn't come with any cables, and obviously I'm taking a huge risk if I were to buy this thing, because look at it, it's in horrible condition. But if I can get a power cable for about $15, buy it for $25. A working Xbox One for $40 is pretty good, but I put it back and proceeded to look at the cameras that other guy was just looking at. Nothing caught my eye there, but after thinking about it for a few minutes, I decided I couldn't leave the Xbox there, if only just to see if it works. For the science of the video, could I have bought a working Xbox One for $25 at a thrift store? So I scooped it up, gave it a better home, Then went to check out the media section where I found more Family Guy DVD sets. Volume 6, I don't have this one. I'm still missing Volume 1, by the way. I have 2, 3, 4, and 6 now. And what's this? Seinfeld! Season 4! Oh, finally, a new season. And this place actually had quite a few games. See if I can find one to test this Xbox with. Halo Anniversary would be nice, but I already own it. Here we go. Here's something I don't have. The Witcher 3. Never played it. Don't own it. Let's get it. Why not? So there we go. Jacksonville gave me something. Next was Spectrum Thrift Store. This place was a huge overrun mess of crap. Star Wars Battlefront, another game to test my Xbox with, and it's empty. This place had the entirety of How I Met Your Mother, which I actually used to like when it was new. I don't know why, I can't go back to it at all these days. And for my final store in the Jacksonville area, I went to another Spectrum. And this place was an even larger unorganized mess. I did find some video games, though, buried in this glass case. Unfortunately, they wanted legitimate game store prices for everything. There's a Donkey Konga in there, which would have been nice to get, but $25 at a thrift store, I just ain't doing it. Not for one game. The DVDs were all messed up. I actually had to get my phone out and use it as a flashlight just to see, because they were behind this bookcase. Didn't find anything especially inspiring. Then up front, there were more video games not in the glass case. Ni no Kuni, already have it. That's a good find, though. Walking Dead game, don't have it, but I also don't care. Backyard Football, $4? I got this. Then we have this case, which had Among Us Pokemon cards. Like somebody printed out a label and put Sussy Monsters on the back, and all the cards were Among Us knockoffs. Of course, they had a balance board. Don't remember the price. Can't see it in the footage. Mario plush, $8. Not bad. Didn't get it, though. Look at this mess behind the counter. If I zoom in there, you'll notice a blue Yeti, which I actually asked if I could buy, but the woman refused to sell it to me, saying she had to look up how much it cost and test it out first. So it probably wouldn't have been a good deal anyway. Next we have the First Baptist thrift store in Leesburg. Quite a bit of furniture. It was cute how well organized their cable section was. It was all rubber banded together. Nothing I wanted to get though. This place was nice and clean, but it was lacking in raw stuff. Like, this is their whole DVD section, a couple of bins. Didn't find anything. Then I went to another Sheriff Ranchers thrift store. If you remember, I went to one with Meatball. And they had some stuff here. I just wasn't in the mood to buy it for whatever reason. Such as this copy of Riven, the sequel to Myst. They also had Myst 3 Exile here. Oblivion for $360. Ace Combat 6. They only wanted $5 for all these, but for whatever reason, I didn't get any of it. I'm pretty sure I already own Oblivion. Gotta check on the balance board. $5. Not bad at all. Yeah, maybe I was just in a grumpy mood that day. And with that, we're completely done with Florida in this video. Not going back. Here is the Ava Maria thrift store in Cheyenne, Wyoming. No, seriously, I went all the way to Wyoming. Here's the picture in front of the sign. Are thrift stores any better in Wyoming? Not really. In fact, this one was kind of overpriced. Here's another 5-disc DVD changer they wanted $35 for. Little on the high end. Here's something I thought about getting, and I probably should have if I knew what it was. Some kind of really small audio mixer. I probably could have made use of this. So when I see a random sports thing, I like to try and figure out what team it is, and I had no idea with this. Found in Wyoming, a baseball hard hat with the letter M? No clue. Had to feel the balls, because you know I love touching them. Here we go, here's a video game. NCAA Basketball DVD Trivia Challenge. It's a DVD game, that counts. Then we have Ambitious Diversities, still in Cheyenne. They had VHS tapes just sitting out in the sun. Lord of the Rings on VHS. Actually kind of cool. No doubt the animated one. They had some games here. I probably could have bought something, but I didn't. Such as this Michael Jackson game. Here's a weird one. A Star Wars game for the DG? D-I-D-J? Never heard of that in my life. This place was a big old mess. You know I mean that in an endearing way, too. Like, look at these cables. They're just haphazardly all over the place. Crowded aisles. Just stuff everywhere. Unfortunately, those are the only two places I went in Wyoming. This is Eco Thrift in the Fort Collins area, Colorado. We're about to board the Thrift bus. Actually, it seemed closed. Whole bunch of balance boards. $8. Nothing good in the games, nothing good in the DVDs. The stuff section was mildly impressive though. Nothing I would get. Here's another audio interface of some kind. I don't really know what I'm doing with that stuff, so hard to buy. An actual rotary phone. This is brand spanking used in downtown Fort Collins. I like their setup. Nice large open ground floor with the stairs descending down into the basement. Here's a bin of sports cards. Surprised I don't see more of these. You ever been to a thrift store with a Halloween section? Downstairs, I like how the furniture is arranged as a nice little hangout spot facing each other. Just because I think the store is cool doesn't mean I found anything, and here I really did not. Gotta check on the balance board though. Looks like no price. This is an Ark Thrift store, a local chain to the Colorado area. Maybe it's in the surrounding states as well, but all the ones I went to were in Colorado. First of many from now to the end of the video. The thing with Ark stores is you can always pretty much find something cool, which is not something that I'm used to, but that's because it's usually overpriced. This has to be one of the most expensive thrift stores I've been to that wasn't like one of those reseller shops I went to earlier. Though as a result, there's always a case full of games up front. They're just normally game store prices or above, from what I found. There's nothing that exciting in here anyway. Common 360, PS3, PS4, Wii stuff. DVD section didn't have anything amazing. Habitat for Humanity Restore, so they do have them outside of Florida. It's mostly furniture, but they had some other cool stuff, like this really old-looking water machine, or this foosball table. Those are always fun. No DVDs I wanted, and I didn't see any games, though. Another Ark, somewhere in northern Colorado. Couple Office DVDs. Do I care enough about The Office to buy it? I don't think so. The price is right on Wii. That sounds like it could be fun to play exactly one time. I wasn't gonna get prices right, but then I found this Curb Your Enthusiasm Season 1 DVD and thought, hey, since I got the wallet out, I'll get this and that. Here's a couple of Millennium Falcon toys for $6. Probably a good deal, actually. Didn't get them, though. Now we have another Ark store in Colorado Springs featuring special guest, my mom. All right, say something iconic.
Here we are in the mountains of Colorado.
That sucked. I should have bought this. I don't know why I didn't. This would have been funny just to have in a video. I was really tempted by this Molin basketball. It felt pretty good. I think it looks more worn in the video than it did when I was feeling it. I have enough basketballs. I don't need it. Here's something I've never once seen at a thrift store. Dragon Ball Z DVDs. Of course, I already have the full set, so there was no need. They also had a couple Family Guy DVDs that I got earlier. A few South Park seasons, including season 5, which I don't have. That's a cool find. Another Ark. They have all the Big Bang Theory, in case I wanted that again. Another chance at that. This place had a buttload of DVDs. So much so, they were just bins full of them you could rummage through, like a Walmart discount bin. This place also had a Super Nintendo in the glass case. It's super yellow, and I remember they wanted $60 for it, which admittedly isn't that bad of a deal, but I already have a Super Nintendo.
So like literally you feed it like a, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Why don't you just buy pasta already?
Well, because I'm trying to be a hippie.
Okay.
Which I've made pasta before, but I can't cut it straight enough, so it just turns out weird.
Oh, you do it just like
Yeah.
manually? Oh.
Yeah, it turns out weird. So I need one of these with actual attachments for different sizes of pasta.
I see.
Here is St. Paws thrift store. Found the Seinfeld seasons I already have, of course. No video games, but I did find this old Monopoly. Only $2, so I felt like I had to get it. That seemed like just too good of a deal to pass up. New Horizons thrift. If you remember, I went to one of these in Florida as well, so this is a large chain, or at least a large spanning chain, where I found this Lord of the Rings Fellowship of the Ring DVD box set.
What do we think of Lord of the Rings Fellowship of the Ring for $8? $8 is a bit much.
Yeah.
For a DVD.
And that's just a little bit too much for me to pay for one DVD. Well, it's 3 discs, but you know what I mean. Salvation Army trip with my mom, why not? Here we go, we could learn trumpet.
We could get matching trumpets.
Oh, yeah, let's do it.
$80.
Teach me how to play. Have you played trumpet before?
Maybe.
Look at this jean beanbag. That's ridiculous.
A denim couch. That is pretty funny. Who would... Why?
I wanted a denim couch for so long, an Eddie Bauer one.
Another Monopoly, Deluxe Edition, whatever that means. Can't buy two, though. This is technically a game system, Buzz Time. I remember playing with these in school. It's basically just a way to set up a quiz game, like you hand out the little buzzers to the kids and they hit it like they're on Jeopardy. Another Ark. Somebody donated their entire National Geographic set. This place had a whole bunch of Xbox and Xbox 360 games. Each of them priced at $4 each, which is more than reasonable, so I stocked up. I got a whole stack of them. They also had games in the case, though these were much less exciting because they were priced higher. Then Life Network Family Thrift Store, where I found Tony Hawk's Trick Tips Special Edition DVD box set. How could I not get that? I did buy this Arrested Development Season 1 DVD though. Last store with my mom, a fancy looking Ark. All of these have been in Colorado Springs, by the way, where we found the entirety of Friends.
All the Friends.
You just get the whole thing.
Wow.
Do you want the whole thing?
Nope.
Dang. You can even get this. The best. You can get a best of and the whole series.
And not much else. Then by myself, I hit up yet another Ark. This one's somewhere in the Denver area. Nothing exciting in the games section, but I did find something bizarre with the electronics. No, not this Skylanders portal. This WinTV personal video recorder. This is some kind of prehistoric capture device. It has connections for RF, connections for S-Video, connections for composite. It uses a printer cable to connect your computer. It was so weird I had to buy it. Also found an old globe, which happened to have the entire state of Colorado scraped out. Other than that, it was pretty cool. Still said Soviet Union, so it's at least from the 80s. Then I went to Assistance League Thrift Shop, where I found another old globe, this one on a large stand. Not a Seinfeld DVD, but Seinfeld Clue. What happened to Newman? I can't believe this exists, so I got it. Next is Second Time Thrift, still in the Denver area, where I bought nothing, but it was one of those small crowded ones. Always enjoy browsing those. Look at all these loose CDs or DVDs or whatever they got down here. Like someone's gonna thumb through all these. This Ark was in the hood. You know, last time it was in the hood, we found an Xbox, so let's see what we got here. Yoshi's Woolly World. I actually don't own this. Ah, damn it, it's Mario Kart, which of course everybody has. The entirety of Friends again. Ooh, Lord of the Rings on VHS. I actually had the first two movies for $1 each, so I picked them up. Here is Mile High Thrift. This place was much better organized than I'd come to expect in the last bunch of stops. Much more than your average Ark store anyway. Lots of DVDs, but nothing that interests me. Here's an Xbox 360 controller, which had the back this time. And $15 was just a little more than I'd be willing to pay. I already have enough 360 controllers. And by enough, I mean two. I have two. Another Ark, where they had Disney movies on Laserdisc. I have no idea if these are worth any kind of money, so I let them be. Also, I don't have a Laserdisc player. Ah, freaking sweet! Family Guy Volume 1! I have been looking for this the entire video. I actually found a whole shitload of DVDs at this place. It's where I finally decided, yeah, I do care enough about The Office to buy it, because they had seasons 1 through 5. And look at these Seinfelds! Holy shit, they have more than just 1, 2, and 3. Picked up season 5, season 6. This was a pretty good trip. Next was Global Thrift, where I found absolutely nothing interesting except maybe this Barbie Story Maker disc or this Madagascar 3 game. No? Another Ark, which had less interesting stuff than I normally see at these. But I did find this Animal Crossing Monopoly. I have never played Animal Crossing in my life, so I have no interest in this. But cool for someone else, I'd imagine. Then finally, the last Ark store I go to, where I found a football signed by what looked like a local high school team. They definitely weren't the Broncos, because I didn't recognize any of the names. Kingmaker. Some sort of PC game. Their glass case full of games was hidden in the back with a whole bunch of shit on it, and you could barely tell what any of the games were because the case was so scuffed up. I squinted through though and realized I really didn't want any of them. Then I left Colorado to go to this Salvation Army in Garden City, Kansas. Wasting no time getting to the DVDs, they're right inside the door. Nothing interesting there, but I did find empty mini CD or DVD cases, sort of like GameCube games. If you have a lot of loose GameCube games, you could put them in these. This place actually had a really nice selection of TVs, such as this CRT flat screen right here, or this huge one in a wooden box. Oh, look at how cool this channel changer is. It's like a key pin pad. Unfortunately, it looked like the tube had seen better days because the picture was really faded. A large VHS selection, 10 for $1. They might as well just be giving these away. They had a Connect in the case. Yay. Here's a Salvation Army in Dodge City, Kansas, which I did one lap around in about 40 seconds. They didn't have nothing, except for these Connect games. Next is this community thrift store in Tulsa, Oklahoma. They had games in the case up front. Nothing cool though. Still in Tulsa, this is Turning Point Thrift Store. Oklahoma State Cowboys seat. That's kind of cool. We got this really nice Gone with the Wind VHS set. No DVDs I wanted though. Old Coca-Cola again. Interesting. They had these huge industrial fans, which living in Florida would probably actually come in handy. Ooh, Peggle. Ah, it's for PC. See, if this were for Xbox, I'd have bought it. Then a super thrift. Another store I went to in Florida, so these things are far-reaching. Where I found, yes, Madden 16, yeah! FIFA 15. They got all the good games here. Sesame Street. Elmo's Preschool? Heck yeah. Then I saw a TV remote unlike any other I've ever seen. It has this weird spinny dial at the bottom. No idea what that does. Are Salvation Armies in Oklahoma better than Salvation Armies anywhere else? Not really. Didn't see anything I wanted. This is kind of cool though. One of those fake VTech laptops little kids used to have back in the day. I had one of these and it was the coolest fucking shit ever, even though it functionally did nothing. Alright, store number 104 and the final Salvation Army. This one is in Fayetteville, Arkansas. Is it better than any Salvation Armies anywhere else? No, in fact, I'd say it's worse. It had less stuff than most of the ones I went to. Nothing cool in the DVDs. Yeah, I said nothing cool, including this Aragon. Yeah, I said nothing cool, including this Bionicle The Legend Reborn. Okay, maybe that's a little cool, but I didn't buy it. And finally, the last one, Peace at Home Thrift Store. Funny story here, I almost didn't go to this one because there were closer ones I could have done, but I decided I wanted to make it interesting by going to one that was really close to the college campus because I thought that would give me a better likelihood of finding something cool. Did it work? Shockingly, yes. In the case, they had both a Game Boy Advance SP and a Nintendo DS Lite for $30 each. This is extremely exciting. I did not get the DS, even though that's a good deal. I left the find for someone else. But I did buy the Game Boy Advance. I actually don't own an SP. My childhood one, I gave to an old girlfriend and just never got it back. And they've always been a little too expensive for me to rebuy. So finding one here was amazing, especially since it was the 105th store. So it was either here or never I'd find something cool. They also had a bag of games that were really nothing, but I figured I'd get them anyway just because they were there. There's a couple Rugrats games, a couple Nintendo games for DS. So there we have it. 105 stores, thousands of miles traveled. I spent a little over $500. Let's see what the hell I got. Applebee's Cup, XFL football, Xbox 360 with the hard drive, Xbox One, which I'll be testing in a future video, Total 3D, Battlefield 2, Clip Art CD, SimCity 2000,
Trailer Park Boys Season 1, Curb Your Enthusiasm DVD. We got Tony Hawk Shred, Price is Right, Backyard Football, Ace Combat 5, GTA Vice City, Over the Hedge the Game, Witcher 3, Dead to Rights, Medal of Honor, Street Fighter 4, Darksiders, Dead Rising, Blackwater, Hot Wheels game, another Medal of Honor game, Fight Night Round 4, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, Star Wars Battlefront. Who said I didn't get any good games? Dungeon Siege 3, Dante's Inferno, Fable 3, Fable 1, Fable 1 again, The Sims on Xbox. I'll buy it when it's on Xbox, not on PC apparently. Dragon Age 2, Desert Storm PS2. We got the Seinfelds, Season 3, Season 4, Seasons 1 and 2, Season 6, Season 5, another Curb Your Enthusiasm DVD, Arrested Development Season 1, Indiana Jones box set and Crystal Skull, a whole bunch of Family Guy DVDs. We got Volume 1, Volume 2, and 3, and 4. No 5, which is funny because in one of the first ones I went to, I passed up 5. I remember that. Volume 6, Stewie Griffin, The Untold Story. 2 Lord of the Rings VHS tapes. An old Monopoly game. Guide for Mario 3 and the Game Boy Advance. We got Season 3 Simpsons, Season 9 Simpsons. Those are the only Simpsons I found, sadly. Season 4 South Park, Season 5 South Park, Season 6 South Park. Another Season 6 South Park, which I bought twice by mistake, I guess. Season 9. This is Season 11. Season 12. So we got a little South Park collection. Season 13, different set. We got some The Office DVDs, Seasons 1 through 4, maybe 5, I don't know. Magic Apple Mouse. The cables for this Xbox. Not the one, the 360. Weird old capture device. Windows XP. Game Boy Advance SP with a few games that are pretty worthless. They're like Rugrats games. And last, but certainly not least, Clue Seinfeld. So that's all I got for this time. I guess until next year when I do this again, and I'll probably do this again. It's fun, you know, despite spending the money and really not getting anything that good. Shout out to the patrons. Shout out to everybody who watched. Never trust anyone who needs a haircut. Till next time, goodbye.